everybody, it's Sunday morning. It's April 23rd. It's kind of nice out today. Got a couple lawnmowers. I'm going to have 4 this year. I remember one year that I sold as many as 6 lawnmowers in one year. I sold I think 5 lawnmowers that year, and then I found another one and fixed that one right up. Fixed that one up right away and sold that one. So my best one is 6 mowers in one year. I think my least was 3 mowers in one year, but it's usually 4 or 5 mowers I sell every year. So this year it happens to be 4, but could be more. So let's go over what I have to sell. Before I sell those, I'm going to run them on Craigslist today. This one's a little Popolin, or whatever you want to call it. Poulan, that's what it's called, Poulan. And I had to put a cable on it. The emergency shutoff cable was busted. So it's a brand new one, it's got a tag on it. Change the oil, put a new filter in it, these little foam ones. And then put another plug in it. And I think I have, that one there, I have $32 in. So everything above that is profit. Usually I don't have that much money into them. Now this one here, I just do 5 for each. Oil, plug, filter, and the blade was pretty sharp. I took it off and put a little bit of an edge on it, but I've got $15 into this one at my time. So that's a nice one. Smokes a little bit when it first starts up. I think it's got some valve guides. It's got some valve guides. Smokes a little bit. I don't know. We'll see what I can get out of it. I'm not, not worth overhauling after I, put a set of rings in it. If I could reuse the head gasket, possible, but we'll see. I think I'll sell it. I'll make some money off it. So like I said, I got 30 on that one, 15 into this Craftsman, and we'll see what we sell them for, and then I'll give you an update on how much money I made on these. And I have another 2 outside next to the house. One has a cable, the drive wheel, the one that it's a propelled one, and the cable going out to the drive wheels, that one broke. That was $10 for that, and then I have to do 5 for each. The reason I do the 5 for the Craftsman, that air filter's bigger. There it is. It's one of these, got rubber on it, and I charge you more money. Those other ones are just foam. The old style ones are just foam. So, and then the other mower, what do I have? Oh, I have the carburetor on that one. I thought, well, I started it up and it ran on ether. Didn't run so good on gas. So I took the float bowl off, and the float bowl was completely, I mean completely rusted. It's the worst one I've ever seen. So when I do the video on the other 2, I'll show you what I did on those one. But man, that carburetor was bad. So, alright, this is Rick, and we'll add on to what I sold them for, and we'll figure out how much money we made on these 2. Alright. See ya. Hello everybody! Welcome to Selling Guy 60. I have an update. The Poulan mower. Why is this thing so dark? There we go. The Poulan mower I sold for $85. I had 32 in it, so I made $53. That's out the door. I sold the Craftsman today. This is Monday. I sold that for $75. I had 15 in it, so I made $60. Not too bad. So that's the first batch. Second batch is going to be a little bit more rough. I had to do a few more things. I had to put some more money into some of these, and I could have maybe cut corners on this one carburetor. I don't think so. It was bad. The whole inside of the bowl is rusted. I could have got another bowl off one of my old carburetors and just, it's $14. I'd rather put a good product out the door and make people happy, and recondition these things so they don't end up in the garbage dump or melted down or whatever, and do it. Makes a little less money. There's one I'm gonna have $41 into it, so I'm gonna try to get as much as I can, but I won't be making too much on that one. You win some, you lose some. Other years I hardly do anything and I make a killing on them. Okay, so this is the Toro. And this is the one that has this whole plastic cover over here. This thing here. This was on the lawnmower. No cover, no filter, nothing. Somebody lost that. So that's a new one there, and then the carburetor was junk. So the cover comes with the air cleaner and a spark plug. That was pretty cool. So I got an air cleaner, spark plug, and the housing for 20 bucks, which, the air cleaner and filter, might be $5 each, so $10 for the housing. And then I had to get a carburetor, and the carb was $16. So, and then when I'm running this thing, it runs great. Shut it off, it makes a popping noise. So I think I'm going to end up having to tear the top off this one and lap in the valves. And I'll probably be able to hopefully reuse the head gasket, and I should be fine. But, well, that's another one. The Craftsman, I had to put a cable on here, front cable, the drive cable popped and broke in the middle. See, I usually see some of them break on the ends where the little Z end is, and that cable was $13. I changed the oil, put a filter in it and a plug, so I have like $28 in this one. This is the next one going out, plus it's a bagger and a mulcher, and it's pretty clean. It's pretty clean. Yeah. I think I'll make a little bit more money on this Toro. This might polish up a little bit. I tried polishing. I guess I never tried polishing this one, so it might come clean, a little bit cleaner. So we'll have to see what we make on those. I'm probably gonna wait till this weekend to run the Craftsman in the thing. I should hopefully have the other one fixed too, maybe. So I'll let you know what I make on them. It's a Selling Guy 60. Alright, here's this lawnmower that it shuts off. The flame comes out of the carburetor. I didn't really realize that till the other day when I shut it off. I had the filter and everything on it, and when I shut it off it kind of made a pop. I thought it was coming out the exhaust. So I want to make sure it wasn't something loading up, maybe the choke not opening. So I started it, ran it till it was warm, stuck a screwdriver in there to make sure the choke butterfly was open. Let it run for a few minutes, and then when I shut it off, this big old flame come flying out of the carburetor side. Well, this is clean now. I lapped the valves. I cleaned this with brake clean, but the seats are good, and these are good. I just made them a little bit better, but the valves were, there's a lot of carbon all over the intake valve, and there's a lot of carbon here. So all I have to do is clean the top of that piston off, and the head gasket around here somewhere. Here it is. The head gasket was in good shape. This is the block side. Head gasket's in good shape, so I'll reuse that. So hopefully I put this thing back together and warm it up, and hopefully when I shut it off it doesn't pop out the carburetor. I'm thinking all that carbon in there, when you shut it off there's still some gas in there, and the carbon being hot and glowing just ignites the gas that's still in the chamber here, and then it pops out the exhaust. That's my best guess. So put this together, and I'll let you know. We'll film it when I shut it off and see what happens. Alright. Huh. Still pops out that son of a bitch. Wow. Stuff's still popping out the carburetor. What the hell? Yeah, still doing it. Ah, shit. Yeah, I keep telling you about that carburetor that I took off the Kohler, and I had to replace it because it was so nasty. So here, I'm going to show you the inside of this carburetor. There it is. I brought it outside so you can see the extent of it. This is the worst carburetor I've ever seen. As far as the filter was off it, so there was no filter. The housing was open, so when it rained, the rain just went into this carburetor and filled up this thing here. So you can see this thing here is pretty rusty. But look at the inside of this. I'm just trying to get the light in there. Look how rusty that is. Look how rusty that is. Oh my gosh. See that? Man. That is some chunky rust. I actually put some gas in this thing and it started up. Just didn't run quite right. Now I know why. That's a bad carburetor. I see. So the Kohler, as you can tell before this one, wasn't running. It's still popping a little bit. So I adjusted the idle down a little bit. I had to untension one of the springs. So that seemed to work. I slowed it down. Then I took and adjusted the valves a little bit more. I had them set at probably a tight, it was supposed to be set between 3 and 5. I had it set at kind of a tight 4. So I went up and set it at maybe a little bit loose 5 on the valve lash. It ran fine, shut down, didn't pop or anything. So I cut my grass with it. Great. Started right up. So I sold it. Gail got a hold of me the next day and said it wasn't running right. So I said, bring it back. Usually I sell as is. But, you know, if you had the damn thing a day and it doesn't work, you know, come on. I'm not that much of a jerk. So I brought it back. I gave her money back, and here I'm working on it, and it's barely running, and it's popping through the carburetor. So I'm like, okay, I'm done. I took the new carburetor off, cleaned that up. I'm sending that back. Took the air cleaner off. I'm sending that back. I just like, I'm done. It's a Kohler. I have nothing but problems with these frickin' Kohlers. They're just touchier than shit. Now this is my 4th one on this style of mower. One was on a Craftsman, and the other ones were all Toros like this. Just nothing but chasing my tail around. And this is the one I probably put the most money in. The other ones I messed around with them. One was just cleaning the carburetor, and then I had to buy that little choke assembly, but that was a lot cheaper back then. That was probably about, I don't know. See, I've been here 23 years. It's probably 10, 15 years ago maybe. I had another Kohler like this, newer one. Or the older style one. This is the newer style. And I just couldn't get it, you know. I sold a couple of them. One of them I just rolled back out onto my front, put free on it, and the junk guy came by and grabbed it. So I'm going to take this one and take it apart, see what I can see. I'll scrap it out, scrap the aluminum, scrap the crankshaft. That's hardened steel. So that's where that's at. So I did make some money on
What?
talking to myself. I did make some money on the other Craftsman here, and I don't know what. Oh, okay. So that's right. So I made about $100 on the Craftsman. So I made $100 in the Craftsman, and then that was the self-propelled mower, and then I made, like I think I said before, 53 on the Poulon and another 60 on the other one. So not bad, but the Kohler is DOA. Alright, well, that's the conclusion for this. I'll get it up and posted, so that's about it. Till my next project. See ya. Bye. Okay, I just got done tearing into that Kohler motor. The camshaft timing was on. The lifters were in place. The push rods, the rocker arms, the head was all, everything there was just fine. Pulled out. I even looked at the governor. There's a little wheel in there, and sometimes they'll be missing some of those teeth, and that kind of messes the governor up. So I'm thinking, well, but it wasn't jumping up and down. But I looked at it. The governor's good. Piston's good. Crank is good. Bore is good. Got me why that thing was popping back out through the intake. And I'm talking, it was popping bad. Alright. Don't work on Kohlers. See ya.